What's up, YouTube? So, I always tell you guys to listen to your inner voice, listen to that voice inside of you, listen to your instinct. My instinct and my inner voice is telling me that it's time to finally make this video. So, I'm gonna take you guys down memory lane. I'm gonna tell you guys about the first person that I ever told the truth to. The full truth, the full absolute truth with no filter, no games, no subtlety, no bullshit. This particular individual I told everything to, and this was the first person, but not the last, but was the first person I ever told everything to. For those of y'all that get it, you guys know what I'm talking about. Those of y'all that don't get it, you better get it or you're not going to get it. That's all I got to say about that. So, this individual I met, I was still in high school when I met this person. Because I had already made Toontown videos, so it would have had to have been at least 11th grade. It was either my junior or senior year when I first met this person, and I think I was 17. I was either 16 or 17. It was one of those ages, because later on down the line, no, I had to have been 17 when I met this person, because later on down the line, shortly before I stopped talking to this person, she said, I'm a senior now. I'm now the same age and grade that you were when I met you, yet I don't feel nearly as wise. So yeah, I was a senior when I first met this person. Yeah, because the other YouTuber, Mallow45, we were in the same grade, and he was also a senior. For those of y'all that don't know, me and Master Milton are the same age. So me and Mallow45. So yeah, I met all these people my senior year, and this was like a year after I started uploading Toontown videos. This person basically pretended to be somebody else, and she's probably going to see this video because a bird, I can tell she still watches all of my videos, even though she hates my guts, or pretends like she hates my guts. But she was pretending to be somebody else. She was pretending to be a Japanese chick named Yoshiko, even though she wasn't Japanese, right? But I don't even remember how I got introduced to these people. No, one person was a fan of my videos. Actually, no. I met Milton in game, and then he added me to the Skype group because we were doing videos together, and then he added me to the Skype group with all of his friends. So I met this person. She was pretending to be something else. I thought she was some weird fucking chick, and that was pretty much the end of that for like a year, right? I didn't really talk to those people. I talked to Milton whenever we played the games together, whenever we made videos together. I didn't really talk to the other people because I thought they were like abnormal, and they proved they were abnormal over time. Year passes. By this point, I had already graduated high school, and this individual slid into my DMs. Hey, you remember me? I'm Yoshiko. I'm like, oh yeah, you're that weird Japanese chick. And she tells me that she's not really Japanese and that she's actually Pakistani. And the whole situation was just cringe, man. Like, I'm honestly, this is the first time I've ever told this story. And I'm kind of embarrassed to tell this story because of how fucking ridiculous it was. But you guys know what I always say, man. You gotta face your past. You gotta acknowledge your flaws and your mistakes with no shame. That's how you move forward. And my camera's fucking up already. There we go. But yeah, she slid in my DMs. Hey, do you remember me? I'm like, when she said Yoshiko. And I'm just like, yeah, you're that weird. I mean, I could tell she wasn't Japanese, but y'all, yeah, I'm actually Paki, right? Back then, there was this app called, well, it still exists, but there was this app that we used called Raid Call, right? And let me give you guys a small tip, right? If a woman tells you to download this app and come talk to me on this app, you can do it if you want to, but I always tell guys, do what you want to do, right? Chicks ask me all the time to download Snapchat to talk to them, and I'm like, no, fuck that. You're going to download Discord. We're going to chat on here. Even chicks whose numbers I have in real life, I tell them to get on Discord, right? And it seems insignificant, but I'm essentially, when it comes to women, you have compliance and you have non-compliance. If you ever want to gauge how interested a woman is in you, you test them for submission. I know that's going to sound misogynistic. I know there's probably going to be feminists that comment on the video lying. Oh, I will never submit. That's bullshit. 100% of women are submitting to somebody, okay? So what I should have said was, hey, we've already talked on Skype. Just get on Skype and we can call there. But I was younger, man. I was 18, you know. I was 18, 19, you know. I was younger. I didn't know what I know now. Nonetheless, I'm like, okay, yeah, sure. I'll download the Raid Call thing. And then she sent me like her server thing. And, you know, I joined her Raid Call. We started talking in private, right? One-on-one time, right? For those of y'all that haven't read between the lines, this was a chick I dated way back in the day. She came back when I played Toontown Corporate Clash and, you know, started all kinds of rumors about me and shit, right? But I want to tell this story because my inner voice is saying that I need to tell this story and upload it. So I get onto her little Raid Call server, and this is part of me feels bad because I didn't realize this until way later, man. This chick was a super fangirl of my videos, but I didn't. Listen, man, I'm fucking 17, 18, man. I didn't think you could have fangirls making fucking Toontown videos. And this was back when I only had like 500 subs, when I was getting like 50 views a video, man. This was like, damn, this was 13 years ago, man. Like, that's how long ago this shit was. She starts giggling and getting all jittery, man, and she's a fangirl. I didn't know she was a fangirl. I'm just thinking, I don't know, I'm just thinking she just wanted to talk because I knew Milton, right? I didn't know she was like building up the courage to finally talk to me after a year of us not speaking. Because we had that one interaction and then we didn't talk again, right? She got my info from Milton, funny enough. So, and she and they showed me the messages. She's like, "Oh my God, what do I do? What do I do?" And Milton is just like, "Well, just message him. Just slide in his DMs." But the red pillars say women don't message guys for whatever, right? So we talk. You know, I'm kind of feeling her out. You know what I'm saying? I didn't really talk about much of anything. We just kind of chit-chatted, and that was the end of that, right? She continued to talk to me the next day, and long subscribers to my channel, you guys remember that I was a communist when I was in middle school. That's actually when I made my YouTube channel, and I don't know how to keep my camera from fucking up. But yeah, I made my YouTube channel when I was in middle school, back when I was a communist. But by the time I met this chick, I stopped being a communist. This camera's really pissing me off. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know how to fix it. Fucking hell. Oh, there we go. So she started asking me about communism, right? And I explained to her, you know, I'm not a communist anymore. The avatar is a relic of the past. And she's like, oh, I know, but I want to know why you were a communist before. So I explained it to her. I got a video on my channel called What's With All the Communism Stuff, if anybody gives a fuck about that, right? So yeah, we spent a week talking about history and communism and shit, and I don't know why all that. Well, I mean, I know why, but it's like you got all these movies that fucking make it seem like women don't like nerds and that nerds struggle with women. Women love brainy men, bruh. Like, I have so many fucking whatever. I'm only gonna focus on this one. Women love nerds. Women love brainy guys, right? So boom. And I'm gonna be completely honest, you know, even though this chick was physically attractive, I didn't really like her all that much. But I was younger. Back then I was on some, I'll give people a chance and see where it goes. I don't do that anymore. If your energy's weak, I don't give you a chance anymore. And, you know, a chick like that, I wouldn't even look her direction nowadays. But I was younger, live and learn, right? So we're talking every day, we're chit-chatting, you know what I'm saying? This goes on for like about a year. Again, I didn't really like her that way. And when she gave me a love confession, she typed like 2 fucking essays, right? Because she had a friend named Emmy who may or may not see this video. But she asked Emmy, again, going to man for knowledge, right? First Milton, then Emmy. You guys see a pattern of behavior? What do I do? What do I do? I like him, but I can't tell if he likes me. Emmy said the same thing Milton said. Just tell him and see what happens. So she sends me this 2 essay long love confession. I read it, and I'm just like, okay, this chick is kind of weird. I didn't even reply to the message at first. I don't remember if you could. Those of y'all that use Skype way back then, type in the comments if Skype showed if somebody read your message or not. Because I read the message, but I don't know if she could tell I read it, right? I read the message. I think I said thank you. And she wanted me to give her an answer, but I didn't give her an answer. And she's like, oh, I see, right? I didn't know what the fuck to say, right? So we keep talking, and this kind of surprised me because I knew even back then that women don't handle rejection well. But nonetheless, we keep talking. Keep in mind, she didn't know how I looked. You know, we didn't know. Well, I knew how she looked, but she lied and said that was her sister. She had her picture as her avatar, but because her self-esteem was low, she lied and said that that was her sister. And this is why I tell you guys, and I'm just playing with a lighter, literally playing with fire, right? This is why I always tell you guys, don't settle for anything less than what you want. Don't hang around weak energy because it has a gradual effect on you, okay? You'll know immediately if you like somebody that way or not, right? We've been talking for a year. I knew I didn't like this chick that way, but I figured I would give her a shot. I would see where it goes, right? So one day we're talking, and I'm just, you know, I'm just being me, right? I start flirting with her, man. I start being sexual, right? And then she starts getting annoyed. She's like, you shouldn't say that stuff unless you really mean it, you know? And I'm like, well, what if I do mean it? And, you know, one thing led to another, and, you know, we started dating, right? But I'm like, hey, if we're going to be in a relationship, I should see what you look like. And she's like, oh, let's video call, right? And then, this is so cringe, man. She she had a fucking like stuffed animal. So like when we turned our cameras on, she had like a stuffed animal. Like she turned her camera on and she was like blocking her face, right? She couldn't see mine either, right? So but she's doing like this, and I'm just like, you know you have to move your stuffed animal for us to see each other, right? And she's like, yeah, I know. On the count of three, and this again, this is a mistake. I was letting the woman dominate the situation. I was younger though, right? I thought it was adorable, but I know better now. Manipulation tactic, consistent pattern of behavior. This person was very manipulative, but let me get through the story. So she's holding on to a stuffed animal like this. And this is the funny thing, because she would video call with other people and she wouldn't do this shit. You ever want to know if a chick is interested in you? So you test for compliance, you test for submission, and you test to see if she's treating you differently than she would treat other people. So if she's video calling other people, but when she video calls you, she's doing shit like this, she's treating you different, you know she's interested. So she's like, on the count of three. I'm like, all right, on the count of three. Keep in mind, I had nothing covering my face, but whatever, playing the woman game, right? On the count of three. 1, 2, 3. And then she does like this, right? It's gradual and shit, right? So I see her eyes, right? I'm a sucker for pretty eyes. I'm like, hey, you got pretty eyes, but I want to see the rest of your face. And then she does like this, right? Then she eventually looks at me. So the physical attraction was there. I mean, she was and she still is very pretty, but I just didn't like her. But I was younger. I figure I'll give her a chance. I figure, you know, I mean, she's at least nice to me, right? This is fucking cringe. Just I got to get through this though. So it's now, I met her basically 2 years ago. We've been talking for a year. So yeah, and we've been dating for like 3 now. So 3 months into the relationship, I figure, okay, if we're going to have a future together, I should probably give her the 411. I should probably let her know what I know and see if she would accept it. Now, the thing about women, when their interest in you is up here, like when their interest in you is high, they'll submit to your doctrine. So she submitted to what I was saying to her, even though she didn't really fully comprehend it and didn't really understand, you know, what was going on, right? And this is why I feel bad, right? Because, you know, after we started video calling and shit, she actually showed me her diary, right? And, this is so cringe. She would, I feel really bad, honestly, for what I'm about to say, but, you know. She would write in her diary, she would keep logs about me in her diary, right? And the last log she had in her diary was when we started dating. And she didn't write in her diary ever again because in her mind, her dream came true, right? I didn't know how serious this was. The chick was keeping fucking diary logs of me and shit, man. Like, and then she stopped because she thought her dream came true. So I told her the truth. She was skeptical about it at first, but she started doing research on her own and she verified most of the things that I told her. But then we started having problems because the first time we had an issue and she was telling her friend Emmy that, you know, This was actually before we started dating, but the year that we were talking, we never had any arguments, and that's a red flag. I'm not saying go out of your way to have arguments with people that you care about, but if you know somebody for a year and you've never had a disagreement and you've never had an argument, that's a red flag, because somebody is hiding who they truly are. Now, when women like you, they're going to submit to you and they're not really going to give you any problems. But there is still going to be something that you have a difference of opinion on. Even if they submit to what you think, there is still going to be a disagreement at some point, right? So she was telling her friend that we never had a disagreement, right? And the first time we had a problem was we were in a call and I'm talking to her and I could tell she's not really paying attention. So I'm like, hey, the fuck aren't you paying attention for? And she's like, huh? I'm like, what do you mean, huh? Right? And again, there was a correct way I could have handled the situation, but you guys know how young I was, 19 or 20 by this point in time. You guys know how young Frizzy was, man. You guys seen the videos. So, she was watching a TV show while we were in a call, but we weren't watching the show together. And again, right, women, they will go through their entire life with nobody ever telling them the truth, right? Keep in mind, at the time, she was old enough to know basic manners. She was old enough to know, like, basic, if someone's giving you their attention, you should be paying attention, right? But, you know, despite being in the 11th grade by this point, you know, this is why I feel bad for women, man. When you're in the 11th grade, you're an upperclassman, okay? You're pretty much expected to already be taking on adult roles at this point, but she didn't even know that what she was doing was rude because she's a woman and nobody in real life ever taught her what manners were. Guys aren't going to tell her the truth because guys want to smash, and men, for whatever reason, think you got to lie to women to smash. And women don't tell each other the truth because women see each other as competitors and they want to sabotage. She actually, the girl I'm talking about, she actually admitted to me that she does this, that she gets close to her enemies to sabotage them from the inside. You know, she had a friend of me named Skylar who she did that to actively, right? She still does to this day. I don't know if Skylar ever found out. In fact, Skylar would get angry at me. She would be like, why is she telling you my business? I'm like, you got to take that up with her. But that was the first time we had a problem, and I felt bad because I actually made her cry in the call. But I was younger. I was more impetuous, you know. I know how to handle situations like that now a lot better. It was the first time we ever had an issue. The second time we ever had an issue, and this was a huge red flag that I should have left, right? The second time we ever had an issue, you know, she basically asked, now keep in mind, she had a diary that was keeping logs of me, and she stopped logging in the diary when in her mind the dream came true, right? I might actually use her dream diary as the thumbnail. I still got a picture of it. She asked if I met somebody better, would I break up with her? Now, when a woman asks you this question, there's no correct answer to this question. Because if you answer no, which is what I said, they say, well, why wouldn't you go for somebody better? And if you answer yes, they'll say, You would leave me that easy? So there's no, when a woman starts asking you questions like that, just understand the relationship is over. Because at that point, you're at the point of no return. Now, why do women ask you questions like that? This is why I say you should compliment your girlfriend. You should compliment women that you want a future with. Because if a woman sees you as up here, but she sees herself as down here, if her self-esteem is low, but she holds you with great esteem, she's going to begin to think that you're too good for her, and then the relationship is over. She's going to actively find a way to sabotage the relationship, and if you leave that relationship, she'll get angry at you. That's what the fuck happened. That's why she came back 10 years later or 5 years later when I was playing Corporate Clash and made up all kinds of bullshit about me to try to, ruin my reputation because... And then she even tried to come on my stream and lie and said that I broke up with her, that she broke up with me when she didn't. I still have proof that I did, but nonetheless, let me get through the story. So, I said, no, I wouldn't. And she's like, well, why wouldn't you leave and go for somebody better, right? Well, funny enough, I did meet somebody who I actually liked, right? And I tried to do the right thing and basically tell her, like, listen, we can still be friends, but I think the relationship should end. And I told her the truth because I started having feelings for somebody else, right? And remember what I told you about the manipulation shit earlier, playing a woman's game, right? It never de-escalates. I know some of you guys think I'm a misogynist, but I have a reason. Whenever I say something, I have multiple reasons for saying what I say, right? Because manipulation doesn't de-escalate, right? It starts right here, and then it rises, then it rises, then it rises, then it rises. It gets to the point of insanity, and it never decreases. So when somebody's trying to manipulate you, you got to nip that shit in the bud immediately. Because I never nipped it in the bud, when I tried to exit that relationship, she did the ultimate form of manipulation. Now, those of y'all that get it, you guys know what the truth is. So you guys can understand why what she did next, pretty much, I'm going to keep it a stack, man. I hated females for a while after what happened next happened. Because I told you the truth, because I wanted to preserve your life. I wanted to save your life, right? I'm trying to do the right thing by breaking up with you because I'm beginning to have feelings for other people. So what did she do to try to manipulate me into staying? She got on video and tried to show herself jumping out of a window. Well, if I can't be with you, I'm just going to kill myself, right? And unfortunately, the manipulation worked for a little while, right? And this was a reoccurring pattern for the next couple of years, right? Every time I would try to leave, she would basically try to kill herself. And the last time we spoke while we were in a relationship, people accused me of breaking the law, whatever. The only time I broke the law in this relationship was when I basically said, you know what? Fuck it, I'm done, right? Because I tried to break up with her for the final time, and she turned her camera on, and then she fucking dumped a bunch of pills out and ate all of the fucking pills. So it's against the law to encourage somebody to commit suicide, but I didn't give a fuck at this point, right? So when she swallowed the pills, I didn't cry. I was just done, right? I said, do you have anything you want to say before those pills take your life? She starts crying. She starts crying. She starts crying some more. And then she eventually, you could tell she practiced this, right? Because then she takes her finger, she does what the models do. And then she throws up all the pills, right? And yeah, that was the last time we were officially together. But get this, and I'm not proud to admit this, right? You know the chick I just made a video about? What was the name of that video? You can't date girls, you can't date women, you gotta date unicorns. Remember the chick from that video? Well, after the first time I tried breaking up with the suicidal chick, right? I basically told her, it's like, listen, if you're not gonna let me leave, I want an open relationship, my side only. Like, if you're not gonna let me leave, then I'm still gonna see the chicks I actually like, right? Well, I started dating the chick that I made a video about a couple of days ago. I was dating both of them at the same time, and both of them knew that I had another girlfriend. So at this point, I had two girlfriends. I know, I'm not proud to admit this, but I'm just telling you guys the story because my inner voice said that it was time to tell the story and upload it on YouTube. So I was dating both of these chicks at the same time. I broke up with the suicidal chick for good. She threw up the pills, whatever, right? We still continue to talk even though we shouldn't, but it got to the point, because like I didn't want the chick to die. I didn't want her to take it. It took me a while to realize it was a bluff and that she was just doing that to manipulate me. But I didn't want her to kill herself over me, so I kept talking to her thinking that that would prevent it, right? And she kept sending me emails apologizing, you know, but none of the apologies were sincere. It was just more manipulation to keep me from leaving. Well, one time, because she deleted her Skype because I blocked her on all of her Skypes, she made one more. And then she starts trying to blame me for why her life was going to shit. Because the thing is, right, this was affecting her real life as well. So she wanted to blame me for her real life going to shit when I tried to do the right thing and leave in the first place, right? So I said something along the lines of blah, blah. I sent her an article for rumination, right? Trying to help her with her problem. So then she sent me a message saying, at this point, you're the only problem in my life. I'm like, okay, I'll just leave. Bye. Blocked her, left her. That was the last time we spoke for years. We didn't speak again after that until she came on my live stream, which is still up on my channel. It's called Frizzy Dog and Pop Destroys Idiots or whatever. And yeah, when she invaded my stream with that Faith chick and tried to lie and said she dumped me, we didn't talk again until that stream. And we haven't talked since. Now, you guys know the rest of the story. I kept dating the second girl for a while, broke up with her, moved on to a bunch of different chicks, yada, 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 right? But there's a couple of reasons why I feel like it was time to tell this story. This was not the last time a woman has tried to manipulate me into staying with her, but it was the last time I fell for it. I've made at least 20 different videos now telling you guys why you have to cut off weak energy, why you can't hang around weak energy, why you can't go for girls that you're not attracted to, and why you can't tell the truth to people who can't fucking handle it. I think this story summarizes why. I could have saved myself a lot of fucking problems, years of problems, if instead of just settling for something I didn't even want, I just said, like, if I would have just said when she gave me that love confession, you're cool and all, but I don't like you that way. Now, I mean, a chick like that, because I'm having that problem right now, where if a woman likes you, they try to prevent other women from getting to you. So, you know, but I think I would have had a lot less problems if I just nipped that problem in the bud before it even started. Nonetheless, I don't regret what I did, because she was the first person I told the truth to. And even though that relationship failed, and I don't, because again, we don't talk. The last time we spoke to each other was when she tried to invade my live stream way back then, right? So I don't know if she continued with this path. Probably not, right? Nonetheless, it was still good practice. You know, you're probably not going to succeed your first time trying something, but nonetheless, it was good practice. I learned a lot. I learned a lot from the relationship after that, and I continued to learn. I continued to perfect how I tell people the truth. I continued to perfect who I tell the truth to, and I continued to master this portion of the game until it got to the, and funny enough, it began with her, it ended with her. Because her starting those rumors about me on Corporate Clash, that led to me making the Toontown SJW video. And that video was basically the start of me making the videos that I make right now. So, as above, so below. It started with that chick, it ended with that chick. So, those of y'all that send me messages on Discord and DMs thanking me for the videos that I make now, for the videos I started making after all that happened, in a way, you guys should be thanking this chick, because this chick was like the catalyst that basically started these types of videos. Now, ironically enough, I got a video called My Ultimate Simp Story. I continued to make these videos because I was secretly hoping that they would get to somebody in particular. But then I realized these people can't be helped. Let me focus on the people that can be helped. So yeah. She was the first person I told the truth to, but she wasn't the last person I told the truth to. I hope that she was the first person that I helped, but probably not. I honestly didn't really meet the first people that I know for a fact that I helped until a couple of years later, until 2016, when I met the people that you guys see that be joining me in my videos. So yeah, I hope this story helps some people get it, man. You can't force the truth on anybody. You can't force people to get it. You can't take weak energy and make it strong. They have to become strong on their own, and then when they meet you, you're just another door that helps them get to the path that they've already chosen to follow before they ever met you. Don't settle for anything less than what you want, and don't try to force the truth on anybody. I think those are the morals of the story. Oh, and don't argue with women. Don't yell at women. If a woman isn't submitting to your program, just leave. If a woman asks you, if you meet somebody better, will you leave? That's the end of the relationship. Get out of there. Get the fuck out of Dodge. Don't let these chicks use suicide and manipulation to keep you trapped. Just leave. I know it's hard. Life is hard. Nothing in life worth having is easy. Catch you guys in the next video.